City Dodgers baseball here on Your View on Cox. We're live from Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark in downtown Oklahoma City as the Oklahoma City Dodgers getting set to take on the Memphis Redbirds in Game 3 of 4 of their series. Dodgers looking for their first win against the Redbirds here at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark in this set. I'm Alex Friedman. My partner tonight is Steve Marshall, as the Dodgers have lost 6 of their last 7 games entering today. And unfortunately, a lot of it has to do with the struggles of the pitching staff of late.
Yeah, the pitching staff, Alex, has been really beat up upon these last couple of weeks. They've given up 59 runs in the last 51 innings. That's certainly something that's going to have to get better. And more specifically, the bullpen has given up 23 runs in their last 19 innings. So that's something that they're obviously going to have better the next couple of ball games.
And the Dodgers are going to have to deal with the big bat of Tyler O'Neill. He's here on rehab assignment, but has spent most of the year with the St. Louis Cardinals. You can see the prodigious power. He leads the PCL with 26 home runs on the year.
Yeah, he's really been a spark plug. He had a great little run for the Cardinals back about 2 weeks ago and then ended up on the disabled list, working through that now, hoping to get back to the big club for a pennant race.
Had a key 2-run double, as you saw just there last night, that put Memphis in the lead for good, sending them to an 8-4 win over the Dodgers. So again, the Dodgers will look to break out of this recent funk. We'll see if they can do it here. It's Saturday night at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. Our first pitch is coming up next. This is Oklahoma City Dodgers baseball on Your View on Cox. And welcome back here to Bricktown Ballpark is OKC Dodgers baseball. Just a few minutes from starting here. There you can see the great Warren Spahn, one of the 3 famous Oklahomans to be honored with statues outside the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. As the Dodgers tonight will have Logan Bauckham on the mound as he gets loose and ready to go, heading towards the mound here in just a few minutes. Dodgers in Memphis to play Game 3 of a 4-game series. Memphis has won the first 2 and now own a 9-5 edge in the season series, which has clinched a season series victory for the Memphis Redbirds for the first time since 2011. 3-man umpiring crew tonight. Junior Valentine's got the plate. Jason Snarkovich at first base and John Libka, the crew chief, will be at third base. Still awaiting our plate meeting, it appears, here tonight, as the Dodgers and the Redbirds. Again, it'll be Game 3 of a 4-game series. We'll finish things out. Memphis has the league's best record entering tonight at 73-44. They essentially have their division wrapped up. An 11-game lead entering tonight for the Redbirds. Here's the starting lineup presented by the Air Force Reserves. In the top of the first, it'll be Lane Thomas, Carson Kelly, and Tyler O'Neill. Batting cleanup, Justin Williams, recently acquired in a trade with Tampa. Alex Mejia and Ramon Urias after that. Tommy Edman to make his AAA debut tonight. Shortstop is Edmundo Sosa, and the starting pitcher is Tyler Lyons, who will round out the Memphis batting order. Again, the starting lineups tonight presented to you by the Air Force Reserves. Redbirds have gone 4-2 at this ballpark this season. And again, as mentioned, they have won a season series against Oklahoma City for the first time since 2011. As the Dodgers taking the field here, and we're just a few minutes away from starting this evening. Memphis took the first game by a count of 2-1. Dodgers falling last night 8-4, and in both cases, the Dodgers took the game's first lead, but Memphis would end up scoring the final few. So Logan Bauckham coming off his first win with Oklahoma City. This is his 4th start with the OKC Dodgers. He has split the year between OKC and Tulsa. It's his, again, 4th start with OKC. 1-1 with a 5.28 ERA. 15 in the 3rd innings with OKC. 10 runs, 9 earned, 18 hits, 9 strikeouts, 9 walks. Opponents batting .295. You saw his overall numbers there a moment ago between OKC and Tulsa. This is Bauckham's 3rd career stint in the Dodgers organization, the organization that originally drafted him, and 2 subsequent opportunities with the Dodgers have followed. The defense behind Bauckham tonight in the outfield, it's Edwin Rios, Henry Ramos, and Kyle Garlick. Kyle Farmer at third base tonight. Donovan Solano back in the lineup at shortstop. Tim LeCastro at second base. Connor Joe, the first baseman, and Rocky Gale will do the catching. Bit of a humid night after the rain showers we got in the late afternoon today. As it is currently 84 degrees here at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. The humidity's at 69%. Very light winds in from right. Lane Thomas getting ready to start things off for the Redbirds. They'll be followed by Carson Kelly and Tyler O'Neill here in the top of the first inning. Now, Thomas has now played in 11 games with Memphis. He had hit safely in the first 10 until being held hitless last night. And he was 0 for 4 with a walk. Now he's ready, Balcom ready, and the first pitch of the night is a fastball called for a strike. We're officially underway here at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. Thomas 0 for 4 with a walk and a run scored yesterday. Off to a .333 start in his first 10 games with Memphis. Takes a pitch down and away for ball one, excuse me. Now Thomas has spent most of the year at AA Springfield, and combined between Springfield and Memphis, hitting .269 with a career-high 23 homers and 76 RBIs. Joe will play a bit off the line at first. Pitch just misses it outside for ball 2. Now behind Thomas at 2-1 to start off tonight's game. First time Balcom has faced the Memphis Redbirds this season. 2-1 swung at, grounded sharply to third, but backhanded by Farmer at the bag. He throws to first for the first out.
Nice backhand there by Farmer as he gets the ball down the line. If that gets away, it's going to be an easy 2 bases, but he handles it cleanly, gets the throw over in plenty of time, and leadoff hitters retire.
One down for Carson Kelly, who moves up to the 2 spot in the order tonight. Usually bats around 4, 5, 6. The Memphis catcher at .289 on the season. He's been most of the year with Memphis. Has had some time with the St. Louis Cardinals as well. First pitch is high. Kelly last night 1 for 5 with an RBI single. A key RBI single as part of the 6-run rally in the 5th inning, which included 4 runs with 2 outs. Breaking ball from Balcom misses away. Kelly's had 2 hits in the series so far, but both coming at big times. Part of a 9th inning go-ahead rally in the 9th on Thursday night, and then in the 6-run rally yesterday in the 5th. He'll foul off the next pitch for strike 1. Balcom in his last start in Reno went 5 innings. The final line a bit misleading. He gave up 5 runs at 8 hits. First 4 innings were fantastic, but then things went south in the 5th. Kelly swings through a breaking ball for strike 2. First 4 innings, no runs and 3 hits allowed for Balcom. Then in the 5th inning, Reno had a 5-run, 6-hit inning. Now there was some bad luck, some soft hit balls that found some spots as the pitch misses high, and Balcom actually committed a defensive miscue on a bunt play as well. But the Dodgers offense picked him up in the 6th inning. They took the lead for good, did not relinquish it. That's the last time the Dodgers won. 3-2 to Kelly, bounced left side. Couple of steps to the right for Solano. There's 2 down.
2 up, 2 down, inducing the ground ball. The first 2 hitters working out of the stretch, which is, unusual for starting pitchers for the most part, but you see what he's done here. Balcom getting the first 2 outs here in the 1st inning. That'll bring up Tyler O'Neill.
Now, Balcom, for most of his pro career, has been a reliever. It's really been mostly the last couple years where he has started more, and you're seeing more guys do that, going out of the stretch at all times, or maybe a modified windup. O'Neill sends one to deep right center, but Garlick is there to end a 1-2-3 top of the 1st inning. The Dodgers will look to take the lead as they come up to the plate for the first time, facing off against lefty Tyler Lyons. This is Oklahoma City Dodgers baseball on Your View on Cox. Bottom of the 1st inning, scoreless game. Dodgers will look to take the early lead with their top of the order coming up. Here's the lineup presented by the Air Force Reserves. Tim LeCastro leading off. Donovan Solano and Kyle Farmer also here in the 1st. Edwin Rios, Connor Joe, Kyle Garlick, followed by Henry Ramos, Rocky Gale, Logan Balcom. Starting lineups presented to you by the Air Force Reserves. Tim LeCastro, Dodgers' usual leadoff man, batting .293. First start of the season for Tyler Lyons. Recently went through the designated for assignment and outright waiver process, and mostly in the bullpen role with the St. Louis Cardinals this year. And will again make his first start of the season, so he's going to be limited in terms of his pitches. He'll only be out there for probably about 40 pitches at most tonight. Now, LeCastro last night, 2 hits on base 3 times, had a couple of RBIs. And now Lyons behind at 2-0. Tyler Lyons had been a pretty effective left-handed reliever for the St. Louis Cardinals the last couple years, but this year just a rough season for him. Fires his first strike of the night. He has now spent parts of 6 of the last 7 seasons at some point with the Memphis Redbirds. 2-1 is hit out of play behind the plate. An Oklahoma State product who grew up in Lubbock, Texas. The last time he faced the Dodgers was actually last year in Memphis on a rehab assignment. It's the first time he's pitched at this ballpark, though, since August of 2013. 2-2 to LeCastro. Fouls one out of play to the right side.
It's one of those guys, Alex, that a lot of times he's brought in to face just one hitter. He's a left-handed specialist. That's been his go-to role for the Cardinals on the most part, and then got the big breaking ball that he likes to utilize a lot, especially against the left-handers, and really ties them up and can also get it inside on the right-handers.
LeCastro hits a line drive to left field for a base hit. Williams will get to it. LeCastro digging for 2. Here's the throw from Williams, down in time to have the speedy LeCastro, and it's a leadoff double. Early extra base hit for LeCastro and the Dodgers. No man at second for Donovan Solano. Here's the defense for Memphis. Outfield left to right is Justin Williams, Lane Thomas, and Tyler O'Neill. Ramon Urias at third base and Mundo Sosa the shortstop. Tommy Edman making his team debut at second base. The first baseman Alex Mejia, and Carson Kelly is the catcher. Good scoring chance for the Dodgers after the leadoff double by LeCastro. Donovan Solano back in the lineup tonight. First pitch from Lyons is high and outside. Solano hitting .367. That's his return off the disabled list shortly after the All-Star break. At .361 was held hitless on Thursday night, 0 for 4, and then did not play yesterday. Lyons missing high and outside again.
It looked like he stumbled at plant foot as he follows through. Maybe didn't get down the way that he wanted to because that one was way high and outside.
Takes some time to kick off his spikes at the back of the mound. Behind Solano, here's his 2-0. Swung at, hit a line to right, but right towards O'Neill. Takes 2 steps and makes the catch.
Any other place, that's going to be a base hit and a possible run to come home. O'Neill headed dead to right, lined it up, and was also there in case he decided to tag and try for third base. Well hit ball, but just couldn't find the hole.
Runner remains at second base for Kyle Farmer. Just a little bit under 300 on the season with OKC. He's been hitting well of late. 6-game hitting streak in which he's gone 8 for 23. First pitch from Lyons misses low. As Farmer last night, 2 for 4, was also hit by a pitch and scored a run. Now for the Dodgers of late, it's not an issue of hits. It has been an issue of runs. Grounds 1 to third. It's a fair ball right at the bag for Urias. Throws to first for the second out.
Looked the runner back not once but twice just to make sure that he wasn't going to go upon the release towards first base. Had plenty of time and gets it there. And Dodgers try not to waste that leadoff double. Now with 2 away.
Well, Edwin Rios will look to take advantage of it. Rios hitting at .302 after a 2-double night last night. Drove in the Dodgers' first run of the game yesterday. See if he can do again today. A left-on-left matchup. And Lyons starts him off with a breaking ball for a strike. Now, Lyons in his career coming up originally was a starter. When he first broke in the big leagues, he was a starter as well. Cardinals and the Redbirds hoping that maybe back in a starting role can, smooth things out as Rios sends a grounder to the right side. Edman's first chance, no problem, and the Dodgers can't do much with the LeCastro leadoff double. So we'll be scoreless after 1 inning here at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. Redbirds coming up to bat after the break. This is Dodgers baseball and your view on Cox.
The best way to enjoy an OKC Dodgers game is in a group. Buy your tickets now by phone or at OKCDodgers.com.
Bricktown Ballpark, great annual event each season as the Dodgers helped raise over $5,600 for the Susan G. Komen Foundation here of Central and Western Oklahoma through a jersey auction as well as passing the bucket. So great crowd, great energy last night. First pitch of the second inning. This is outside to Justin Williams, and looking forward to having it once again next year. Williams 5 for 21 in his 5 games or 6 games with Memphis. He grounds one foul. Part of a lot of roster turnover for the Redbirds of late. Williams was acquired in a trade on deadline day, July the 31st, with Tampa. And primarily been with their AAA affiliate, the Durham Bulls. Williams didn't play yesterday. He was 1 for 4 on Thursday. 1-1 roped foul up to the right side. Dodgers will put a shift on for the lefty. Solano will play to the right as second, and Farmer back where the shortstop normally would be out. Stacking the pull side of the infield for Williams. 1-2 missed down and inside. Williams made his major league debut earlier this season with Tampa. 22-year-old from Houma, Louisiana. 2-2. That's down and away. Now full count to Williams, leading off the second. Mejia and Arias due up next. Full count pitch from Balcom is down and away, ball 4. Now leadoff walk here in the second inning gives Memphis its first base runner of the night.
Pretty good rain showers earlier this afternoon. Built up some humidity here at the ballpark tonight. But the winds are just light out of the northeast. Great night for baseball.
Alex Mejia at the plate. It's his first start of the series. First pitch called for a strike. Singled as a pinch hitter yesterday. Guy's been hitting .327 since the All-Star break. Normally a infielder anywhere from second to third, second short or third, but getting the start at first base tonight. Here's the 0-1. It's taken down and away as Gale stop it. Memphis this season against the Dodgers manning .266. They're averaging a little over 4 runs per game. And Memphis has won 9 of 14. And have gone 4-2 at this ballpark. The overall scoring, though, just separated by 6 runs between the two teams over the 14 meetings. Mejia takes a 1-1 just a little bit outside. That's already a couple of those pitches tonight, and that have been called balls in similar spots. There's the 2-1, and that is good for a strike on the outer part of the plate. Now, when Balcom was with Oklahoma City in 2016, he made 2 starts against Memphis. Granted, of course, there's a lot of different names on both sides, but a pair of 2 6-inning scoreless starts. 2-2 down to Mejia. Breaking ball just outside. Looked awfully good.
Yeah, a collective groan from the fans sitting near the plate. They thought it was in there for a strike as well.
Well, we'll see if Junior Valentine sticks with this zone here tonight. Eric Balcom will start getting some calls in that spot. Well, that one not close. The second walk in as many batters here in the second inning.
Well, that's the one thing you definitely want to avoid. You don't want to help the opposition by giving them any free passes, much less 2 to start the inning. That's exactly what Balcom has done right here, and now he's going to have to buckle down and stop it right here and make sure that they don't come up with another one of those big innings that they've been talking about here for the last couple of ball games.
Big innings been a big issue for the Dodgers. For the last 5 games, they've had an inning of 4 or more runs. That included a key 6-run 5th inning last night. Time was called, granted, late, and Balcom's not pleased, and I don't blame him. And Junior Valentine getting some heat from the Dodgers dugout as well. I brought this up on a radio broadcast the other night. The Dodgers have seemed to have this crew a lot this year. And Junior Valentine has been in the middle of a few issues. Let's just put it at that. Urias will foul it out of play. Mona Urias has split the year between Memphis and Springfield. This is his 32nd game with the Redbirds. Last night, 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run scored. Two men on with nobody out for Memphis. Oh, 1 lined into right field, a base hit. Williams will be stopped at third as a throw comes in from Garlick. The bases are loaded with nobody out.
Station to station baseball. 2 walks and a single to right field. No way they could send him on that play as they were all geared up and ready to make a play at the plate. Good job coming up, hitting the relay man in the middle of the field. But now you've got the bases loaded and nobody out.
And what a spot for Tommy Edman for his first AAA plate appearance. Her first official one. He did have some time with Memphis in the playoffs last year, but that's a bit different. Edman, a switch hitter, bats left. Swing to the first pitch. It's a fly ball in a right center. Garlick coming over will make the catch. Williams heading on home. Throw is going to be up the third base line and not in time. The sac fly by Edman here in the second, and the Redbirds take a 1-0 lead.
Didn't waste any time, did he? Steps right up, first pitch. Got a pretty good piece of it. Outfielders converged and really didn't have a play at the plate. They let the throw go through. Did not allow the other runners to advance, so it'll be first and second, 1 run home and 1 out.
Now, if Balcom can find a way to limit the damage to 1 run here, it'd certainly be big, but he's still only got 1 out with Sosa coming up. First pitch breaking balls outside. Sosa batting .258 in 35 games with Memphis. He homered in the series opener Thursday. And a couple of hits last night. Swings through that pitch for strike 1. He had the runner at second. Drew one of the 2 walks to start off this inning. One grounded right side. That's poked through for another hit. Mejia will head on home. The throw going towards third, and Farmer cannot come up with it cleanly. So Rios will be safe at third. Sosa takes second on the throw, and now it's 2-0 with runners at second and third, and still just 1 out.
Well, right as he was about to throw that, I was about to mention Dodgers second baseman LeCastro was really trying to hold on the runner at second base. There was a huge hole there between first and second. He shot it right through that gap, got it through, and brings home another run, making it 2-0.
And Tyler Lyons coming up. His first at bat of the season. Infield plays in all the way around, and Balcom's first pitch is high. It's gone walk, walk, single, sac fly, walk here in the second inning.
You could argue the outs that they recorded in the first inning were hit harder than some of these here in the second.
Lyons takes a breaking ball for a strike. A .215 career hitter during his time in the minor leagues. One fastball called for strike 2. Just want to remind everybody again, when the Dodgers play another National League affiliate, that's when the pitchers will hit, and the games are played under National League rules, as is the case tonight. 2 fastball is high and in.
Always a danger playing the infield in. Anything bloop hit-wise can end up in the outfield and be a hit. Otherwise, maybe it would have been an out. But you want to try to stop those runners from scoring on just the contact play.
Now the count's gone full, the opposing pitcher. Here's the 3-2. Grounder to second, and it's right to LeCastro, who will field, look the runner back to third, and toss to first. No. Dodgers get what they needed in that spot, playing the infield in. There's 2 away now.
And that worked out perfectly. If he's playing deep at regular depth, runners usually go on contact in a situation like that from third base, but since they were playing in, they knew that they had to get through the infield. Did not in that case. Check the runner at third and get the out over at first.
Lane Thomas grounded out his first time up. First pitch breaking balls down and away. Redbirds with 2 in the inning and 2 in scoring position with 2 out. The Dodgers last night allowed a total of 8 runs. The final 6 came with 2 outs. Fastball good for a strike. Kind of in the same location he had been getting pitches called balls, so maybe that's a good sign. Thomas takes in for ball 2. This is now a 26 pitch inning for Balcom. Actually, that was 27 after a efficient 11 pitch first inning. 2-1 is hit well into deep right field. Garlick going back on the track. It's out of his range. Now he drops it. Thomas on his way to third. 2 runs scored. It's now 4-0. There's your big inning.
Kind of got turned around on that play. He's shaking his head. He knows exactly the same thing. Started off to his right, then trying to double back, can't get a glove on it. And then, as Alex said, watch here as he tries to field it, drops it again, and that allows Thomas to race all the way over to third base with a 2 RBI double.
Carson Kelly at the plate. Fastball's up in the zone, so now make it an inning or 4 or more runs that have happened 5 times in the last 6 games, 6 times in the last 8 games. Slider misses down. It's essentially a 1/4 of their season total of the innings they've given up 4 or more runs have occurred in the last week.
And when he hit the ball, Alec, you even said it was hit well, and you could tell just by the sound that that ball was going to go deeper. And I thought he was kind of nonchalant and going back on it. As it turned out, it makes it over his head and then gets to the wall, and then the additional trouble there. Sometimes the ball just has that different sound off the bat, and you could definitely tell that one was going to go quite a ways.
I mean, it was hit well, but it was a playable ball.
Yes.
And we saw Garlick's reaction, and we've seen him make plays like that before. This one hit in the air to right center. Another long run for Garlick the other way. He'll make this catch down the inning, but it's a crooked number for the Redbirds. 4 runs on 3 hits with, again, 2 more runs scoring with 2 outs. Dodgers have some work to do. This is OKC Dodgers baseball and your view on Cox. Friends and Family 4-pack returns August the 24th when the OKC Dodgers face the Colorado Springs Sky Sox. You'll receive 4 tickets to the game, 4 bronze combo vouchers, and 4 OKC Dodgers hats for only $39.99. Call 405-218-2100 for more information. Now, the Dodgers just need something here. Sure, all 4 would be nice, but just to have something positive would be well appreciated.
I think the key to that inning for the Redbirds there was the fact that they were able to score 4 runs on just 3 hits. A couple of walks in there, sacrifice fly, a misplayed ball in the outfield, and those little things add up.
Which to Connor Joe outside. The Dodgers enter tonight having lost 4 straight and 6 of 7. They still lead the division by a game and a half, as both the Dodgers and Colorado Springs have been struggling of late. Sky Sox have gone 3-5 their last 8. They just hide outside, and they've lost 8 of the last 11. So both teams not exactly taking charge of trying to take the division here down the stretch. Joe takes a high strike. Connor Joe didn't start yesterday, grounded out, and is only bad as a pinch hitter. Another strike. Edmund, the second baseman, will play the left of the bag. Now a full count to Joe. And now a play to the right side.
See a lot more shifts, of course, for left-handed hitters than you do right-handed hitters. I don't know what the exact reason is, obviously, through all the analytics that they have and statistics. Left-handers tend to be more pull hitters, I suppose. But
now you're seeing them more on right-handers, though. But again, you don't really tend to see the extreme shifts like you do on the lefties, where you'll have guys even play
short
15
right
feet
field,
in right field. He ends up walking Joe, so Memphis was able to cash in on some walks in the top of this inning. Joe will take his base, brings up Garlick.
That'll drive the managers and the pitching coaches crazy. Your team goes out and gets 4 runs for you, and then you walk the leadoff hitter. So you've got the run now. Let them hit it. Can't defense the walk. We've heard that before.
Well, the Dodgers got a leadoff double last inning. Couldn't advance the runner. Garlick will hit a line drive to right center. A base hit. O'Neill will cut it off. Joe will get to third. Garlick stays at first, and the Dodgers have something going here in the bottom of the second inning.
Reached out and drove it over the second baseman's head, as you see. Good clean single. O'Neill has to hustle over and cut it off, prevent Garlick from thinking about making it into a double, but runners at first and third, nobody out, trying to get some of those runs back.
Henry Ramos, a .290 hitter. Didn't play yesterday, 2 for 4 on Thursday. I'll mention how Lyons is going to be limited in his pitch count, as it is his first start of the season, and there is some action now in the Memphis bullpen. Right-hander Chris Ellis getting loose. And this has been Ellis's spot in the rotation, so I imagine when he comes in, he'll be going for a few innings.
You're starting to see that trend now where managers really are just trying to get 2 or 3 good innings out of their starting pitchers. That's something that's been brand new to the game. I don't remember it until this year, to be honest with you. Maybe they were doing it on some of the lower levels, but at the major league level, Tampa Bay certainly took it by the horns, and they started using that. Ryan Stanek goes out and starts the game. Sometimes he only pitches 1 inning.
Yeah, I've done that with Sergio Romo as well a few times. Ramos fouls another one back to even up the count. Oklahoma City Dodgers have had to do it a few times this year, more out of necessity than anything.
You're also seeing bullpens now that used to be one guy was a closer and then you had a setup man, and now you've got two setup men, and some teams are going with a third setup person to get to the closer. And they're shortening the game by doing that, but that's what their stats, their analytics tell them, that you guys need to have more than just a starter and a reliever or two. You need to be ready to put 5 or 6 guys out there.
Ramos hits one high in the air to shallow right field. O'Neill sizing it up. Don't know if it's going to be deep enough to score Joe. Here he comes. The throw comes home. He's going to be out. I was surprised he went. It was not a great throw by O'Neill. But since it was hit to such shallow field.
Watch O'Neill line this up. The throw wasn't very good, as you said, but he lined it up perfectly. He's got all the momentum coming forward. 1, 2, 3 hops before it even gets to the plate. So it was in plenty of time. Swipe tag and got the runner.
This has not been a banner second inning. You know, especially have a good contact hitter in Rocky Gale, who is coming up next. I'm surprised Joe tried to score on that ball.
I think it was a case where the runner was maybe looking to see where he was standing as he was just ready to catch the ball, but he probably ran another 4 or 5 steps and got all the momentum coming towards home. I don't think he took that into consideration. Even though it was on line well, but the fact that it 3-hopped to the catcher was a bit surprising. There you go. How about that? I don't know who feels better, the kid or the guy who gave it to him.
Gale fouls off another, didn't play yesterday. Pinch hit on Thursday. His last start was on Tuesday. That was in Reno. Is now with 3 catchers on this roster, playing time has had to be spread a bit thinner. It just grounded foul the left side.
Dodgers really need to take advantage. Had a leadoff double, were unable to score in the first inning. First 2 batters reached in this second inning. Still have nothing to show for it just yet. Trying to get something going here with 2 outs.
One, 2. Breaking ball fouled off. Gale has hit Memphis pitching well this year. 12 for 29 against the Redbirds. Dodgers overall as a team batting .251 against Memphis. Redbirds with a 4-run top of the second inning. Gale fights off another. The Lions approaching that 40-pitch limit. That was his 35th of the night.
I haven't really seen that big sweeping curveball that he possesses all that much this evening. Maybe that's one of the reasons for the designation.
Well, there's the ground. There is the curveball, and it's grounded to short, and the force out will end the inning. Dodgers had a runner at second with none out in the first. Didn't score. Had a runner at third with none out in this inning. Didn't score. Connor Joe was thrown out at the plate on a fly ball to right field that ends this inning, so it remains 4-0 Memphis on Your View on Cox. Don't miss out on the next Pizza and All You Can Eat night, August the 18th, when the Dodgers host the Iowa Cubs. Pizza and All You Can Eat seats available now for just $19 and include all you can eat food and OKC Dodgers hat and a game ticket. Call 405-298-2100 for more information today.
I heard a great stat. We're talking about pitching. The Houston Astros, Lance McCullers went on the disabled list last week. That's the first time an Astros pitcher has missed a start all season long. So their top starters have combined for 115 starts. And then you look at the Dodgers, they're like 22 behind that because Kershaw's been out for a while, Stripling's been out for a while. So you see a lot of movement between the Major League Ball Club and the AAA affiliate here in Oklahoma City on guys just having to fill in. I couldn't believe that was the first start that a Houston Astro pitcher had missed all season long.
It's incredible. As O'Neill swings to the next pitch, he flied out to right his first time up. So O'Neill had just gone up to St. Louis, and then a few days after that had a groin strain, and just a few days later able to begin a rehab assignment.
Bounces that one off his foot, I suppose.
O'Neill, even though he's only played in 62 games with Memphis, which is a little bit more than half of their games this year, he leads the PCL in home runs. Between Memphis and St. Louis, he's got 29 this year. And a total of 41 extra base hits. This time, Balcom able to get him to chase down and away. It's Balcom's first strikeout. There's one away in the third.
See, not a big guy, but he certainly provides a lot of punch in his bat, as we saw in some of those pregame shots that we had in the open.
He might not be tall, but as the kids like to say, he's yoked. I mean, there's barely, if any, body fat on his frame. Grounder off Williams' bat, right to LeCastro. 2 quick outs here in the third.
That's the way you like to see it here after throwing a lot of pitches in the previous couple of innings to get 2 outs very quickly here. Try to get the guys back into the dugout, get the merry-go-round going on the offensive side of things.
Mejia drew a walk his last time up. The 2-2 pitch was the key one. It looked like strike 3, but it was called ball 3, and then Balcom kind of yanked one on the next pitch. As again, he walked the first 2 guys last inning, and both came around to score. The 1-1. It's down and away to Mejia. Now Memphis, we mentioned, enters tonight best record of the PCL, 73-44, leading their division by 11 games ahead of Nashville. Came off a rough series against Fresno in which the Grizzlies, granted another first place team, took 3 of 4, really knocked around the Memphis pitching staff. With that win on Thursday night here, they avoided a 3-game losing streak. They have not lost 3 in a row since mid-May. And that was the 9th time they had lost consecutive games, but then won the next to avoid a 3-game skid. Last year they had an incredible run of series wins or splits. It's like 27, I think, consecutive, as they won 91 games of the regular season and ended up winning the PCL championship. So this is a team that's had its share of losses lately. It is certainly, I don't believe, as strong as the team the Dodgers played a few times in May, yet they won the first 2 and have gotten off to a good start tonight.
Losing a lot of those pitchers that have been called up to the big club. Austin Gomber, who got a win yesterday for St. Louis. Ponce de Leon.
3-2, swing and a miss, got him. 2 strikeouts in a 1-2-3 inning for Balcom. Nice bounce back for him. He'll be leading off the bottom of the third, and we'll see if he can get the bats going here. The Dodgers down 4-0 early. This is OKC Dodgers baseball on Earview on Cox. As expected, Chris Ellis is going to take over for Tyler Lyons, as Lyons only gets through 2 innings on 36 pitches. And Ellis, the right-hander, first pitch misses outside to Balcom.
2 innings pitched, no runs.
Had a squeeze bunt, RBI squeeze bunt last time he pitched. Game in Reno on Sunday.
23 strikes.
0 for 9 between Tulsa and Oklahoma City. For Ellis' first relief appearance, 11 starts with Memphis, 3-4, 4.92 ERA. Last couple outings have been rough for Ellis, who's looking to straighten things out tonight. The Dodgers had gotten a man in scoring position with none out in the first 2 innings and did not score either time. They're 0 for 5 with men in scoring position to start tonight. Now's the breaking ball called for a strike. That'll be strike 3 on Balcom. For Tyler Lyons, he went 2 innings, no runs, 2 hits, and 1 walk, and no strikeouts. Tim LeCastro led off the bottom of the first with a double, but never got past second base. Fastball from Ellis a little bit outside. The last 2 outings for Ellis, both were in Memphis. Gave up 14 runs and 16 hits in 10 innings. Began the year at Double-A Springfield and joined Memphis in mid-June. Castro sends one foul off to the right side. 3rd round pick of the Angels in 2014 out of Ole Miss. He has been since traded twice, first from the Angels to the Braves and the Braves to the Cardinals. 1-2 grounded left side. Sosa's step to his right is up with it, and there's 2 away.
Easy ground ball for the shortstop, able to handle that. Fires over to first base, quickly 2 up and 2 down. Dodgers get something going here and maybe play it the opposite way and get a string of hitters on base instead of getting that leadoff hitter on. Haven't been able to do anything with that the last 2 innings. Maybe try a different approach.
Solano lined out to right his first time up. Grounds one left side. Sosa sliding stop, pops up and throws to first. Now, after a couple of routine outs, a flashy play by Sosa ends a 1-2-3, bottom of the 3rd. And we'll head to the 4th with the Redbirds still in front, 4-0. This is OKC Dodgers baseball on your view on Cox. Terry Celebration Night presented by Boeing returns to Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark on Friday, August the 17th. Join the OKC Dodgers for the special night of honoring our hometown and military heroes. Purchase your tickets now by calling 405-218-2150. Visit OKCDodgers.com. Color Guard presentation earlier tonight from the ROTC folks from Altus High School. It's a place you're familiar with, Steve, isn't it?
Absolutely. Spent the very first years, 1986 to 1995, moving from St. Louis to Altus to start a radio career. Look where it got me. Sit here and call a Dodgers game with you, and couldn't be happier. This is great. Certainly have enjoyed it.
Ramon Urias singled his first time up. Grounds it foul. It's 0-2. Now, Urias and Sosa, who's due up in the hole here. 2 guys who have not exactly been world beaters for Memphis, but they have had an impact on this series. Both are now 4 for 10. Urias taking high. It's his first year in the Cardinals organization. Played the last few years in his native Mexico. Originally signed by the Texas Rangers. Breaks his bat, singles into left. Well, he's now 5 for 11 in the series.
Got around on it pretty well. You could see and hear the bat break almost immediately. So look at it right there on the replay. Top half of the bat, or looked like it splintered almost in half. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. So he gets the leadoff single here.
Tommy Edman had a sac fly his first time up. 6th round pick of the Cardinals, 2016, out of Stanford. Mentioned last year he was with the Redbirds during their playoff run to a PCL title. He was 2 for 8 over 8 games. Took the spot on the roster of Patrick Wisdom, who got his first ever big league call-up today. Wisdom now in his 7th season in the organization, signed with St. Louis out of college in 2012. Last year was Memphis' team MVP. Another solid season this year. Edman swings a one-hopper right to LeCastro. Easy double play for the Dodgers.
That's how you do it right there. The old 4-6-3. LeCastro to Solano and then on over to Joe. Roll him up. 2 outs.
Well, bases will be empty for Sosa. Another one of those hitters that have given the Dodgers all sorts of trouble this series. Hawkins breaking ball down and away. Sosa had a RBI single and a run scored his first time up. And all 4 Memphis runs came in the 2nd inning. An inning that started with 2 walks. Final 2 runs ended in a triple on a misplayed ball in right field. Sosa takes a pitch a little bit inside. Sosa spent his entire career in the Cardinals organization, signed out of Panama. Second recent series, the Dodgers, their opponent has had a short stop from Panama. The other one was Javi Guerra of El Paso. That was the Dodgers' last home series. Daniel Corsino always having fun there in the dugout a moment ago. Grounded left side. Solano charges, throws to first. That'll end the inning. So no runs, 1 hit, and none left for Memphis here in the top of the 4th inning. A 0 on the board, put by Bauckham, thanks to a 4-6-3 turned by the combo of LeCastro, Solano, and Joe. Dodgers going to try and get the bats going here on Dodgers Baseball on Your View on Cox. On a Saturday night, Dodgers looking for a comeback, down 4-0 here in the bottom of the 4th. Kyle Farmer leading off. Grounded out his first time up. Ellis in his first inning threw a 9-pitch 1-2-3 third. The Farmer, Rios, and Joe coming up here in the 4th. Mentioned earlier, Memphis has had a lot of defections off their roster, and maybe even more noticeably so on the pitching side. You heard Steve mention some of the names like Austin Gomber, Daniel Ponce de Leon, Dakota Hudson, John Gant, who spent most of the first part of the year with Memphis. And even though the numbers have not been as good for the Memphis pitching staff as Farmer pulls one foul, they have not had many issues here against a flailing Dodgers offense.
Yeah, going into the season, the Cardinals, of course, were relying on Wainwright, Waka, Carlos Martinez, and Waka and Wainwright got some early season starts. Martinez has been in and out of the lineup on the disabled list, and they've had to rely on a lot of these guys that have worked their way through the Memphis team and in the Cardinal organization.
There is no such thing as too much pitching depth.
Ever. And even more so now, as we mentioned earlier, just how many guys are throwing 98 to 100 miles an hour now? It used to be there was 3 or 4 in the major leagues, you know, and it was a big deal. And now some of these teams have that many guys that are bringing it that hard.
Farmer with a long at bat leading off the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the next 3-2 pitch. Hit high in the air, deep left side, but is heading foul and will go out of play, fall off the bottom of the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame and Museum. Recently had their latest class inducted, which featured one-time Major Leaguer Robin Ventura. Little known fact about Robin Ventura, he and Oklahoma City Dodgers pitching coach Bill Cenas, as the next pitch swung out and missed. They both grew up in the town of Santa Maria, California. And Robin Ventura actually would referee youth basketball games that Bill Cemas played in. And then they eventually became teammates with the Chicago White Sox.
I have to say, when you talk about the all-time great collegiate baseball players, Robin Ventura would certainly be in that conversation. What do you have, a 57 game? I can't remember exactly what it was, but he had a hitting streak that was maybe even longer than that. I'll have to look that one up.
And when Rios takes a first pitch breaking ball down. Rios hits one out of play. I want to show you something that happened in the final play of the top of the 4th inning. On the ground out by Sosa, Rocky Gale got hit with a backswing, but you see him there on the railing, so I think he's okay. Next pitch to Rios just missed, but the top of that bat, like it got jammed in, or caught him where the eye opening of the face mask. Rios flies one into left center field. It's Williams taking charge, settling under it, and making the catch out of sight. It's a final look at, again, the final play at the top of this inning. Oh, almost knocked his mask off him. But it does not appear to have any big ill effects on Gale. Thanks to our production crew for that shot. Connor Joe walked his first time up. Was later thrown out at the plate, trying to tag on a fly ball to right. Pull for the right-handed hitter on the infield. Fastball from Ellis called for a strike.
It's actually a 58-game hitting streak for Ventura back in 1987 when he was playing with Oklahoma State.
Now ball and 2 strikes to Joe. Strikeout ends the inning. 2 strikeouts and a 1-2-3 frame for Ellis, who has struck out 3 of the first 6 batters he's faced. He's retired each and every one of them. Go to the 5th. Memphis still in command at 4-0. This is OKC Dodgers Radio, presented by Heartland Flyer. Again, if you weren't with us earlier, last night Dodgers packed the park pink. Here was their fell to Memphis, unfortunately, 8-4. Game got off to a great start. And again, it is one of the louder crowds of the year during Pack the Park Pink night. And And if you want to find out how you can help the cause, you can go to ColemanCentralWesternOK.org. Ellis looking bad on that swing through Malcolm's breaking ball. So the pitcher leading off the fifth. Now, the story for Balcom really, since he's been with OKC this year, has been the beginning. In his first game with OKC, had a 3-run inning surrender to New Orleans that eventually cost him and the Dodgers the game. Last time out in Reno, albeit in a win, had a 5-run inning after he got off to a phenomenal start. Now, Ellis will bounce out to start off the fifth, and then tonight a really sharp looking 1-2-3 first, and then trouble in the second, and he's bounced back nicely since. Now, Lane Thomas had a big hit in that second inning rally, but a ball that looked like, I'm not going to say should have been caught, but certainly looked like it could have been caught. Thomas now has 18 hits with Memphis. 10 of them have gone for extra bases.
Got that hit to right field last time up, and they're still giving him that gap there in right center. Ramos shading him as a pull hitter. That's what the numbers tell him for most of the time. That didn't work last time up, as he took it really just to straightaway right field, not even right center.
Pops this one up on the right side. It's on the infield. Joe going to be called off by LeCastro. There's 2 away. Division title in his 3 years with the club. 13-year Major League playing career. Yeah, he and I pretty much have a powwow every single day, and I think both of us are just pretty much during that time are just scratching our heads lately. You know, obviously if they have the answers for the struggles, they put them in place. I think a lot of it has been the starting pitching depth has taken a hit, and then the hitting has been the real mystery. And it seems I bring this up every single night on a radio broadcast that it's probably the strongest group of position players that have been here all year. The strongest and deepest. But they just cannot consistently put runs on the board. It's now 2-2 to Kelly, who's 0 for 2 with a ground down and a fly out. Grounded foul. Excuse me, that was my mistake. It was a 3-1 count. Now it's full.
Enjoying the night at the ballpark. Again, that family atmosphere that only Major League Baseball at any level. Minor League Baseball as well, you throw it in there.
Solano backhands, long throw to first is good, and again Balcom inside that brief tough period in the second's been pretty good. The Dodgers will look to finally crack the run column as they come up for the 5th time. This is Oklahoma City Dodgers baseball on Your View on Cox. Well, next Saturday going to be a treat. Don't miss Cody Bellinger bobblehead night here at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark on August the 18th. First 2,000 fans at the gates will take home the 2017 National League Rookie of the Year's bobblehead when the Dodgers host the Iowa Cubs. Get your tickets now starting at $9 at OKCDodgers.com or call 405-218-2150. Kyle Garlick single his first time up, and that's the Dodgers' last hit. It has been 8 straight retired by the Memphis pitching staff since. Ellis has retired all 6 he has faced with 3 on strikeouts. The Garlic, Ramos, and Gale here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Ellis missing down and away again. You look at Ellis's game by game, it's been really one end of the spectrum or the other. Mention his recent struggles. Last 2 starts, 5 innings, 8 runs. Start before that, 5 runs, or 6 runs, 5 innings. But then in mid-July, right after the All-Star break, back-to-back 7-inning, 1-run games. Gets a strikeout at Garlic by downing one of the outside corner. Ellis has struck out 4 of 7 batters so far, and 7 strikeouts over 5 innings last time out against the Fresno Grizzlies. That was the last time Ramos was up, where it seems like the Dodgers' fortunes at the plate turned. Dodgers haven't had a man get on since. Well, the Dodgers in danger of losing a 5th straight tonight, in their second 5-game losing streak of the season. For a team that got off to such a great start. June the 18th, as far as I'm concerned, will pretty much be burned in my brain for quite some time. That is when the season just completely changed. The Dodgers had won 4 straight, were a season best 17 games above 500. They got beat bad that night by Las Vegas as the pitches hit out of play the left side. That began a pretty big spell that went all the way to the All-Star break. Now the Dodgers emerged out of the All-Star break playing pretty well. This last week or so, it has gone the opposite direction. Weakly grounded, right side. Edman to his right, backhands and throws to first. 20-29. The last 49 games. Again, that stretch began on the aforementioned date of June the 18th. The pitching staff has had an ERA of 4.77 during that time. The offense has done okay overall since that time, but they've got a negative 40 run differential. Pitches fouled back. They're down 4-0 tonight. They're the first part of the season. Up to that point, it was plus 89. Gale now in an 0-2 count after the foul ball. He hit into a force out his first time up.
Like to get on base here and at least bring up the pitcher so you'd have a fresh start in the next inning. Obviously you want to do more than just that, but that would have been a start, but such is not the case.
Well, Chris Ellis has been dominant out of the bullpen. He's retired all 9 he has faced. There hasn't been any solid contact against him, up to 5 strikeouts. We'll keep it here before we head to the 6th. Let's send it over to public address announcer Jared Gallagher.
For another great game, it's time to play volleyball.
Cover your food, cover your babies. Ten more seconds. 2, 1. All right, hold up those beach balls. Oh, tricky, tricky. I'm gonna say Section 113 has the least amount of beach balls. Bragging rights. Section 114, you have something to work on. But guess what? You're all winners because we're going back to more Dodgers baseball. See you around.
Fans enjoying the grass seating here at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark tonight on this warm Saturday evening here in August. Only, I think it's 13 home games remain after today. Actually, it's technically 13. There will be 14. There will be a doubleheader a week from tomorrow, although one of those games is technically a road game due to make up the game that was in Des Moines earlier this year. But again, time is running out to come see your Oklahoma City Dodgers in a division race to the end, it seems, especially with 9 games left against Colorado Springs. Tyler O'Neill will lead off the 6th. Bauckham starts him with a pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Tyler O'Neill signed out of high school in Maple Ridge, British Columbia by the Seattle Mariners. Fouls one towards the first base coach's box. Traded to St. Louis last year for pitcher Marco Gonzalez. Made his major league debut earlier this season, coming on April the 19th.
Got him listed at 5'11", 210. As you said, he's rather yoked. As you get a good look at him right there. He reminds you a little bit of Harrison Bader, who's in the outfield for the Cardinals right now. Kind of that same build, plays with the same type intensity, and but goes down swinging here.
Bauckham's only got 3 strikeouts. 2 have been against O'Neill. As Bauckham elevated on that last pitch. Boy, a breaking ball that, upon further review, kind of hung up there.
It really did. I bet O'Neill would like to have that one back. But the Gonzalez trade has worked out well for Seattle. I believe he has 12 wins on the season this year. And they always say the best trades are the ones that work out for both teams.
Yeah, I don't like how in today's culture people immediately when a trade happens, who won the trade?
Right. Serve different purposes for different teams.
And I think Justin Williams was acquired in one that caught a lot of people by surprise. Is now Williams hits one well to deep center field. Ramos is back. It's over his head. He'll take a bounce off the wall. Williams will stop at second with a double. The Redbirds, first or just their second hit since the second inning. There's not been much solid contact against Bauckham of late. But, Williams came over from Tampa Bay as St. Louis moved Tommy Pham, who was coming off a tremendous year last year. Now the numbers were not as good this year, but battling injuries, as he really has throughout his career. And even though Pham has just kind of burst on the scene, he's been around a while. Took him a long time to get to the major leagues. As now the pitch is hit in the air to left center. Ramos charging in, makes an underhanded sliding catch. Boy, Ramos, just after having to sprint straight back all the way to the track, about 30 seconds later, now has to sprint the opposite direction and makes a good grab.
Great job by Ramos. He just kept coming on the play. First, I thought it was going to be an easier play than that. Maybe not hit as hard as originally thought, at least by me, but you can see Ramos drawing the bead on it, coming in, getting it down, protecting it so the ball is not popped out of his glove as he makes contact with the ground. That's a big out.
Now it's Urias who has 2 hits tonight. Again, we were talking about that trade and how trades sometimes, Steve mentioned, you know, it's not like one team goes in it. Try to think of, I don't want to say how to rip off the other,
right.
but, you know, obviously there are guys you're going to have to be willing to part ways with. But sometimes there's just a lot of motivations that the public has no clue about.
Well, and what's good for one team might not necessarily be the particular need of the other team at that time. Seattle needed more pitching. Cardinals thought they had a lot of pitching. And then Pham, after he's traded, ends up on the disabled list, and he's out for a while. And Tui Valala, who they traded also last week, he's on the disabled list.
1-1 breaking ball called for a strike. Arias with singles in the second and fourth. Balcom trying to get through 6. He's pitched in the 6 a few times for OKC, but has not been able to go 6 full yet. That's in the dirt. Good sliding stop by Gale. Keeps it in front.
Love to get out of this inning without giving up any more runs and setting it up, even though you start off, you would assume there's going to be a pinch hitter to lead things off for the Dodgers next inning. Balcom's scheduled to bat. So this is a big out without letting that run score right here.
Dodgers do have a plethora of options, though, off the bench. A lot of good bats to be used tonight. And here's a grounder towards the middle, through for a base hit. Another 2-out run is going to score. It's the third hit by Arias tonight. Dodgers just cannot get him out. And it's 5-0 in the 6th.
Just hit right back up the middle. Hit them where they ain't. And with 2 outs, running on contact right there, even though Ramos was playing rather shallow. Really didn't have a play at the plate. Williams, who runs well, gets across the 5th run of the night. That's the first run for either team since the Redbirds got 4 runs back in the 2nd inning.
Throw over to first. Arias in safely. Tommy Edmonds 0 for 1 with a sac fly and is hit to do a double play. I'm going to be honest with you, coming into tonight, based on this lineup Memphis has thrown out, I did not envision them scoring 5 runs for the game. As the pitch misses low, you lose Patrick Wisdom today. Rangel Ravelo, who's on a 15-game hitting streak, not in the starting lineup. And they've still put up 5 runs here in 6 innings. Edmonds going to have a base hit on a sharp line drive to left.
Balcom may have hit that wall right at 100 pitches, but that hit there, he's given up the 7 hits, the 5 runs, but really outside of that 2nd inning when he gave up 4, he's pitched pretty well.
After striking out O'Neill to start this inning, he had to retire 10 of 11, but now hits in 3 of the last 4. Pitching coach Bill Cenas is going to go out and give him a breather.
What do they talk about before the pitching coach or the manager gets out to the mound between the catcher and the pitcher, you wonder?
Number 28, Stetson Alley.
Dodgers get some action in the bullpen. Stetson Alley getting loose. I'm sorry, Steve, go ahead.
They're going to give him the opportunity to work out of this himself. Seemed like he wanted that opportunity and said, I can do it, I can get him. Let me get out of here.
Sosa batting right. Swings through a breaking ball for a strike for the Dodgers pitching staff. Again, another crooked number put up against him. They've given up at least 5 runs in 7 of the last 8 games. Well, it's hard to ask your offense on a nightly basis anyway to have to put up 6 to score to begin with, and especially with the Dodgers struggling to produce runs at the moment. He's gave him 3 breaking balls, and now it's 2-1. Sosa had an RBI single the second. He grounded out the fourth. There's Alley, who's getting loose. Dodgers hoping it'll wait until the 7th. It could be a last batter either way type situation for Balcom. Grounded right to Farmer at third. He'll take it and step on the bag for the force out. So Balcom able to give the Dodgers 6 innings, but Memphis tacks on another here in the 6th on yet another 2-out run. So it's now 5-0 at Redbirds, as Henry Ramos doing his best to prevent some runs from scoring in center field. This is Dodgers baseball on your view on Cox. Fans enjoying the Budweiser deck out in left field here at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark, which normally prime a home run territory, but the Dodgers have not hit a home run in 5 of their last 6 games. That includes 4 straight, which ties their longest homerless drought of the season. Andrew Toll's pinch hitting in the pitcher spot to lead off. Founds the first one out of play the left side. And the Dodgers have only hit 2 home runs now in their last 7 home games. Both have been solo home runs by Edwin Rios. Toll's last night 0 for 4. Looking to jumpstart something here in the 6th. Ellis has retired all 9 he has faced in a total of 40 pitches with 5 strikeouts. Toll's, LeCastro, and Solano here. Dodgers only have 2 hits tonight. That'll officially end the night for Logan Balcom. Had 5 pretty good innings and 1 not so good inning.
Yeah, unfortunately, it just didn't work out. That 4th inning when the first 2 guys walked, and then a base hit, and then a sacrifice, and then another hit really put him behind the 8 ball. And of course, the double by Thomas that drove in 2 was the icing on the cake.
Toles takes a called 3rd strike, as Ellis now has 6 strikeouts through 10 batters.
3rd Dodger called out on strikes tonight too. Send your pinch hitter up. You want to see him at least get a shot at it. Give it a go. Fooled on that pitch. Couldn't get the bat off the shoulder.
And LeCastro 1 for 2 tonight. He doubled to start off the bottom of the 1st and now hits a rocket into center field for his 2nd hit. He's now got 4 multi-hit games in his last 6. Ends a run of 12 straight retired by the Memphis pitching staff.
3 hits on the night, 2 of them for LeCastro, as he does. He sends a bullet 1 hopper to the center fielder. See if that can't be the beginning of something good here for the Dodgers. They try to battle back. Like I said earlier, they don't have to get all 5 right now, but at least put a dent in that lead.
Donovan Solano's 0 for 2 tonight and has been hitless in the series. It has not been a very common sight. To be low, but the strike given by Junior Valentine. Solano's lined out to right, grounded out to short. Breaking ball knocked down to the backhand by Urias at first. LeCastro thought he might have caught it, so he held up. They were able to get the force out at second anyway, but not able to get Solano at first.
Yeah, he misread that or was duped out of it. Take a look at the replay, Alex.
Yeah, it was clearly one hopper, and yeah, even if I mean, I think LeCastro, even if he didn't stop, he was going to be out just based on how hard the ball was hit. Now for Solano, that's the second ball he's hit hard, but has turned into an out. And on for Kyle Farmer. Takes a strike to even up the count.
Ellis pumping it in there at 91, 92 miles an hour on the fastball.
For Logan.com, he pitched 6 innings, gave 5 runs.
3 defenders on the pull side for Farmer on the infield.
Struck out 3.
Gets in front of it foul.
Through 104 pitches, 61 for strikes.
Left-hander Tommy Lane throwing in the Memphis bullpen. Maybe getting ready for Edwin Rios, who waits on deck. Because there's no other lefties in this lineup. One, two, misses away. Ellis has been outstanding, piggybacking Tyler Lyons tonight. Dodgers have just had nothing going. Breaking ball hit in the air to left center field. Williams will cut it off well in front of Thomas to end the inning. Another 0 on the board for Chris Ellis. The Dodgers do finally get a hit off him, but can't do much with it. Go to the 7th. Memphis still leads it 5-0 here on Your View on Cox. Story of this game was the top of the 2nd inning when Memphis was able to score 4 runs. It started with a Tommy Edmonds sac fly, then Edmundo Sosa with a RBI single to right field. The throw was a little bit offline, and then the big hit was the triple out to right by Lane Thomas that looked to be maybe a bit misplayed by Kyle Garlick. That came with 2 outs. And that was a huge hit that turned a potential 2-run inning into a 4-run inning. It stayed 4-0 until the 6th when Memphis ended another 2-out run.
Randy Arozarena pitch hitting for Memphis. Arozarena.
Randy Arozarena will pinch hit. Here in the pitcher spot. It's from the right side. First pitch from Alley hit well, deep right field, but Garlick goes a few steps back and make the catch. Now Stetson Alley appearing out of the bullpen. It's the first time the fans in Oklahoma City will get a chance to get a look at him. An extremely hard throwing right-hander will frequently hit 100, 101 miles an hour with his fastball. There is the heater. It's 99 on this gun, but it is typically 2 to 3 miles an hour slow. Alley, who was drafted as a pitcher by the Pirates, converted to an outfielder and first baseman, then Dodgers made him to a pitcher again in the middle of last season.
For Ellis. He pitched 4 innings.
It's kind of unusual. You sometimes see the change from one to the other, but never one to the other and then back again.
55 pitches, 38 strikes.
Logan Baucom went 6 innings tonight. Gave up 5 runs and 7 hits. And 2 walks and 3 strikeouts through 104 pitches. Now there's a breaking ball that certainly is going to be the key to his success to go along with the fastball.
I saw what Kenley Jansen went on the disabled list. How has that affected what's maybe coming forward for the Dodgers here in Oklahoma City?
Well, in the meantime, they lost Pat Venditti. He was called up. That certainly hurts the OKC bullpen. Vendetti's been their best reliever all year, and he's gone back and forth between OKC and LA, but most of the year here with the OKC Dodgers.
And with Jansen in a regular heartbeat, that's something that you don't expect to just all of a sudden get better, because he's had this problem in the past, right?
They have, and he has a follow-up appointment on August the 20th with his cardiologist, and they're not going to be able to really set a timetable for his return until then. A sky-high pop-up off of Thomas's at bat, and Joe will catch it in foul territory.
So that's not good news for the LA Dodgers or for the OKC Dodgers.
Rarely is it ever when a guy goes down.
But sometimes great careers are born of such things. Just Vendetti's been around for quite a while.
Except the thing about Vendetti and other members of the Dodgers pitching staff is you're going to have Hyunjin Ryu coming off the disabled list soon.
Stripling just came back.
He just came off. There's somebody else I think I'm forgetting about here.
Wood.
Alex Wood, yes. He's scheduled to pitch in the Dodgers' next series, which will be at home against the Giants. So obviously, one and eventually two guys are going to have to come off that LA Dodgers 25-man roster. But you never know. Someone else could go down with an injury in between now and then. A fastball that's hit out play to the right side.
LA 6'2", 244. Last pitch, as you said, the gun's a little slow here, so that was right around the century mark. Registered 98 on the scoreboard out there in left center field.
Now the thing about these hitters, even at the AAA levels, that if they know that fastball's coming, they can time it up. You can't just throw it and hope for the best. You got to locate it. Came off speed that time, and Kelly able to get a piece of it. Low 90 slider.
Yeah, even the best relievers throughout the game of baseball may hit the century mark on the radar gun, but they always have some type of, I don't want to call it a gimmick pitch, but there are other out pitch that they can go to, be it a slider or a cutter or something like that we saw with guys like Mariano Rivera.
Fastball missing in to run the count full. Speaking of the Los Angeles Dodgers, they're in Colorado tonight. It's 2-0 in the sixth inning. Dodgers leading. Walker Buehler 5 1/3 scoreless so far. Full count pitch. Back. Dodgers getting their runs. A Justin Turner RBI triple in the first, and a Yasiel Puig home run in the second. Alley trying to pitch a 1-2-3 seventh. The Dodgers down 5-0. Grounded it right towards LeCastro on the right side of the infield, and it only retires the side in order. It's time to stretch and sing Oklahoma here at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark, and for that we'll toss it to public address announcer Jared Gallagher.
Dodgers fans, stretch out those muscles, get on your feet, and join along as we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Now let's sing along to our state song, Oklahoma.
Well, maybe that'll get the Dodgers bats going here after a rousing rendition of Oklahoma Take Me Out to the Ball Game, led by Brooklyn and the Blue Crew. And when Rios getting set to lead things off, new pitcher from Memphis, rehabbing St. Louis Cardinals reliever Brett Cecil. It's the second appearance of the series. Cecil threw a scoreless inning a couple nights ago. He's been on the disabled list since July the 27th with right foot inflammation. Cecil was a big free agent acquisition for St. Louis prior to last year. He struggled this season. 5.7 ERA in 27 appearances for St. Louis. It's also the second time he's been on the disabled list this year. They'll take over after a tremendous outing by Chris Ellis following Tyler Lyons. First pitch breaking ball, then when Rios has swung out and missed. Cecil 2 nights ago, 1 inning, no runs, a hit, no walks, no strikeouts. Through 12 pitches, 9 strikes. Rios 0 for 2 tonight. Dodgers have been held to just 3 hits, 2 of them by one player, Tim LeCastro. Fouls off a pitch that got a good chunk of Carson Kelly. He's down in pain.
Ouch.
Matt Corvo, the Memphis athletic trainer, will come check on him.
Not sure where exactly he caught that. Sometimes you don't want to know. Here we go.
Oh, right on the kneecap. I know there's some padding, but
yeah,
it can only do so much.
Just like taking a hammer to your knee. We talked about Altus a little earlier, and I remember referring to a catcher wearing the tools of ignorance, and the owner of the station walked in and said, "Steve, we don't talk about people that way." He didn't understand baseball, obviously. He didn't know that that's what every baseball fan called it, and so I had to understand what I was dealing with going forward.
Now for Memphis is Chris Ellis. He went 4 innings, allowed no runs, 1 hit, no walks, and 6 strikeouts. Retired 12 of the 13 batters he faced. Swing and a miss to a breaking ball by Rios for the first out.
You mentioned 2 of the 3 hits by LeCastro, so that means the rest of the 8, since LeCastro is your leadoff hitter, have just 1 hit, and to the Redbirds' credit, I think they've only walked 1 batter as well.
And that was Connor Joes at the plate now. He walked in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. 4 in the second and 1 of the 6 for the Redbirds tonight. Popped up. Urias into foul territory, makes the grab. So Dodgers offense that was not hitting all that well to begin with, and it sunk even further tonight.
A lot of pop-ups, 6 strikeouts, I believe. Ground balls on the infield, just not really making good solid contact and driving the baseball. Obviously that gives credit to the Memphis pitching staff and what they've been able to limit the Dodgers to, but sometimes you like to just see, even when you're facing a top-notch pitcher, just to see guys get their timing right and drive the ball into the gaps, through the holes in the infield, and that's just not worked out for the Dodgers so far here tonight.
The offensive struggles have even been more prevalent at home, as the Dodgers in their last 6 games here at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark entering tonight at .222 average, 13 runs total, 2 or fewer runs in 5 of 6 games. And against opposing bullpens, the opposing bullpens have been nearly invincible. This was before Chris Ellis's 4 scoreless innings with 1 hit allowed. The Dodgers against opposing bullpens in the last 6 home games are batting .141 with 2 runs in 20 2/3 innings. Garlick swings and misses. So now they're 1 for 13 or 1 for 14 against the Memphis bullpen tonight. So you can make that 11 of 85 with 2 runs and now 25 innings pitched. Cecil bounces run in front of the plate. The Dodgers don't come back in this one. They're going to end up being .500 since the All-Star break and back to just 7 games over .500. They've gotten back to 13 games above .500 a couple times since the break, and the last time they did it, they've now followed up with 6 losses in the last 7 games. Pitch misses low, and Garlick draws a walk. He's on base for the 2nd time tonight. Dodgers have had 5 players reach via hit or walk, and 4 of them have been by 2 players, Garlick and Tim LeCastro. They have not had a man reach scoring position since the 2nd inning. They've had 1 man reach 3rd base all night. Henry Ramos is 0 for 2. He'll bat from the right side for the first time tonight. Brett Cecil, 32 years old. A lot of years with the Toronto Blue Jays. University of Maryland product. Yes, there's a big article that's come out recently about all sorts of problems with the University of Maryland football program.
Yeah, sounds like they're in big trouble, along with North Carolina as well. Players selling their gear that they're not supposed to. I think 13 players off the football team are in trouble. But Maryland apparently a little bit more serious. Not exactly sure of all the details, but I heard that coming down tonight.
Fly ball in his center, right to Thomas. 7 scoreless innings now tossed by Memphis, and it is now 10 straight going back to last night. Another tough night for the Dodgers. A lot of long faces. Go to the 8th. Still Memphis in charge. This is Dodgers baseball. And
did your bull riding days, were they successful?
My imaginary bull riding days? Sure, if you want to say so.
Okay.
I mean, I guess they haven't been unsuccessful. You know.
Some fans watching the goings-on here tonight. Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark, as always. Dodgers doing a great job keeping the crowd, the youngsters involved. Just a great family atmosphere. I can't speak highly enough about it.
Edward Paredes now pitching for Oklahoma City.
Again, the Dodgers, despite their recent struggles, still with a 1.5 lead ahead of Colorado Springs for the American Northern Division entering tonight. Sky Sox are at home against a surging Nashville team that's won 11 straight. Nashville leading by 1 run in the 7th inning in Colorado Springs. It is 3-2. But I talked about this a lot last night on the radio broadcast. You can only get so much help. Meanwhile, Memphis, they've pretty much won the division. An 11-game lead with about 3 weeks to play. Mentioned how Nashville has a 1-11 straight. I think they've gotten from like 16 back to 11 back.
He pitched 1 inning, no hits, no runs.
Now the Redbirds likely going to win a second straight division title, look to win a back-to-back league championship. If the playoffs started today, these two teams would play each other. Edward Paredes, the new pitcher for the Dodgers.
Done a good job in keeping O'Neill under wraps tonight. Over 3, struck out twice.
Facing a lefty, though, for the first time. Breaking ball from Paredes called for a strike. Stetson Alley done after a 1-2-3 inning. Edward Paredes making his 29th appearance. 3-2 record, 2 saves, 3.18 ERA. First appearance of the series. One breaking ball fouled off. O'Neill 0 for 3. Now, last night he only had 1 hit. It was a key hit, though. Or a big inning for Memphis. Well, with Jairo Munoz now going on the disabled list, I imagine if O'Neill just comes out of this recent rehab assignment healthy, he'll go right back up once the 10 days are over. Grounds went towards the middle, and Castro was in a shift well to left to second. Can't range over and get it. Leadoff man is on for the first time since the 4th inning.
O'Neill, when he was called up, he was only with the big club from July 31st through August the 3rd. So in that time, he goes 7 for 11. And then, of course, sustained the groin injury you were talking about. They do expect him to probably be activated for the ball game on Thursday if everything goes well. And from what we've seen here tonight, looks like he's A-OK. And with his emergence, that made the Cardinals feel comfortable in trading Tommy Pham, who, I don't know, in my mind had some limitations as a center fielder at the big level. Could maybe play left field or right field, but Bader was a much better defensive center fielder.
Justin Williams has been on base twice and scored twice. Doubled his last time up. Fastball from Paredes called for a strike. Paredes last game on Tuesday night allowed 1 run and 1 hit and 1 inning of work in Reno. Just missed outside, apparently.
Wow. Looked like it was right down the middle. Not according to our manager friend, though. Junior Valentine behind the plate.
Like Williams might have swung at it. Pitches in the dirt. O'Neill takes off for second. It's a wild pitch. I think they did appeal and he did not go. Pitch tapped off the plate foul, runs the count full. Well, he mentioned how Patrick Wisdom got called up from Memphis for the first time in his career. Really noticed just a big outpouring of support and cheers for him on Twitter. Again, a guy who put up really solid numbers for Memphis the last 3 years. Carried that team, especially in the playoffs. A lot of teammates and other folks who got to know him in Memphis just thrilled for him to finally get that chance.
Would you say it was 7 years?
And he signed in 2012. Yeah, so if he wasn't protected on the 40-man roster by the end of the year, he would have become a minor league free agent. 6-year free agent. 3-2 lined over LeCastro's glove in her right. Williams' second hit.
You're just amazed at all the guys that spend so much time in the minor leagues that finally do get the opportunity. As you get a look at Williams getting the base hit into right field, Garlick coming up throwing and preventing the runner from trying to score from second base on that play. And you got to have some stick-to-itiveness. Some of these guys that, you mentioned late 20s, still trying to get to the show, and they finally make it. You can't help but root for guys like that.
And some it takes even longer.
Yeah.
Edward Paredes, a good example. He didn't make it till last year. He was 30 years old at the time. Had played independent ball, had played in a few affiliated organizations. Got the news at a truck stop in Wichita, Kansas, by the way. On the way back from Des Moines. We were heading back from Des Moines back to Oklahoma City. The team had just made a stop, and pitching coach Matt Hergis had been traveling separately with his family. Manager Bill Hausman was away from the team as well. So he called Paredes and let him know the news. Actually, what happened was he called the athletic trainer, James Reddy at the time. Then James Reddy said, hey, you got to call Hergy. Alex Mejia trying to extend this lead.
I was talking with somebody earlier this week, and, a lot of young baseball fans that are just casual fans don't realize how many minor league teams the major league teams had back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. I mean, they'd have 40 teams across the country, a couple in one state.
I don't think a lot of them realize how many minor league teams there are now.
That's probably true, too.
Each team's got 6 or 7 domestic affiliates. Most of them all have complexes now in the Dominican Republic and elsewhere in Latin America. Player development systems are far-reaching in every organization.
And you look at baseball, how many rounds do they have to the Major League Draft each year? Is it
40?
40.
Used to be more.
NBA has 2. I mean, obviously there's a lot fewer players. I understand that. But still, the discrepancy there in the ratio is phenomenal.
And a lot of that has to do with the fact that you can start your pro career at different times. You can sign out of high school if you're from the U.S., Canada, or Puerto Rico. You can sign as young as 16 if you reside in any other country outside those three I just mentioned. Pickoff attempt to first gets away. O'Neill has scored. Williams will go to third.
E1.
One too many throws over. Throws it away. Ducks his head and then heads over to back up third base.
There's the 3-2. Hit in the air to deep left field. Rios going back, reaches out, cannot make the catch. Now the run's going to score. It's a double for Mejia, and the hits keep on coming. Both literally and figuratively.
Still nobody out. O'Neill singled. Wild pitch. Williams gets a hit, and then Mejia a double. Trying to figure out what they can do to right the ship. It's going to take a lot of work to get it righted in just tonight, but they'll tell you in all sports, losses like this, you just have to put it behind you, forget about it, and attack the next day as a new day. I'm running out of cliches.
You know, manager Bill Houseman's not the team meeting type. And there have been some rough patches this season. As a pitch to Arias, line foul, but saying it is what it is, this has not been a competitive game tonight.
And you credit the Redbirds pitching staff in some way, saying, oh, they've only given up 3 hits, but I never got the feeling that they were overmatched by the Redbird pitching staff. Just haven't been able to put the ball in the right place.
Arias has provided the Dodgers fits tonight. He's 3 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. I brought this up before, and not to discredit Memphis, it's why you play the games. This is not a lineup that should be scoring 7 runs against you. Not with this current team in place. Popped up to right, and LaCastro will finally record the first out of the inning. And we talked about no Ravelo and no Wisdom tonight. Going back the last couple weeks. Luke Voigt gone. Oscar Mercado gone. Adolis Garcia gone. Max Schrock, Wilfredo Tovar, a couple of their other infield regulars on the disabled list. It's not the same Memphis team that's been there most of the year. Edman a grounder to third. Farmer will look Mejia back to second. 2 down now.
A small consolation if they can get out of this without giving up any more runs, trailing 7-0. It's getting late, so it's not like you can just chip away at the lead. You got to come up with something big next inning. And if you've only had 3 hits on the night, things don't look that promising.
And Mundo Sosa's 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Memphis has added 2 runs here in the 8th to take a 7-0 lead. They're out hitting the Dodgers 10-3. And now with a ball and a strike. Pitcher spot is due up next. Victor Roach on deck. It's like we're going to see another rehabbing Cardinal Dominic Leone entering the bottom of the 8th inning. Sosa takes a little bit low, ball 2. Oh, watch out. That went off the extended netting above the Dodgers dugout.
You know, we didn't think about it much years ago, but it's, as you said, extended netting down there. But, man, some of those balls down there, I mean, you turn your head for 1 second, and I guess that's the key. If you have seats there, you can't turn your head for 1 second. You got to be paying attention every single pitch. And I hear there's talk in some places of extending the extended netting even further.
That's what they do in Japan. It's all the way down the lines to the outfield.
Probably not a bad idea.
You know, the got put in place here. It was 2015 or 16. Gut now says 16. There were maybe 3 people who voiced disregard to it in terms of, well, I'm not going to have the same view I had in my seat. But everyone pretty much agrees that this is a good thing. This is not a good thing. It is over the head of Rios out to deep left. Sosa mashes a 2-out double, the 3rd run and 4th hit of the inning. Again, Sosa and Arias just can't get him out. Roach will pinch hit.
Victor Roach now hitting for Memphis. Roach.
He's come off the bench the last 2 nights, gone 0 for 2.
Sosa just had his 8th double.
Now Roach hits a line drive in a left center field. It's going to be the second 4-run inning of the night. First AAA hit and RBI for Roach. Talked about the bullpen before this game. Two more innings tonight. 4 runs given up. Makes it 27 runs allowed. And now 21 innings pitched.
Not good numbers, obviously. And again, Balcom, the starter, even though he gave up those 4 runs in the second inning, you know, you'd have to, wasn't really a quality start, what is defined by baseball these days, but still, you know, good enough job that he got him through 6 innings.
Exactly. Yeah, no doubt.
You're still in the ball game.
And, you know, he gave up 4 in the second. He threw 32 pitches that inning and able to get through 6. That's certainly maybe the only small victory for the Dodgers tonight. There's Brian Schlitter, the normal chances he is typically used in have been few and far between of late. Breaking ball that was just missed by Rocky Gale. That's a rare pass ball on Gale.
You have to wonder if that wasn't a miscommunication on the pitch called there. Because, yeah, Gale, that's typically routine.
4-run, 5-hit inning. For Edward Paredes, the 5 hits a season high, as are the 4 runs. It's a high strike called on Thomas. The inning started with 3 straight hits, then a couple outs, and now 2 more 2-out hits.
Brian Schlitter is warming for Oklahoma City. Schlitter.
Grounded left side. Solano backhands in the hole. Throw to first, and a nice stretch by Joe will end the inning. The big inning rearing its ugly head yet again here against the Dodgers. The second 4-run inning of the night for Memphis. The Redbirds rolling. This is Dodgers baseball on your view on Cox. The Iowa Cubs to Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark August the 17th through the 19th. Don't miss out on Hometown Heroes Military Appreciation Night presented by Boeing on Friday, August 17th. Cody Bellinger Bobblehead Night on Saturday, August the 18th. Tickets start at just $9. Purchase your tickets now by calling 405-218-2150. Visit OKCDodgers.com.
All right, here comes the rally.
Dominic Leone, like Brett Cecil, on rehab assignment.
Dominic Leone now pitching.
Gale, the pitcher spot, LeCastro coming up. All Memphis, all night.
2 big innings, 8 of the 9 runs. In those 2 innings, the 2nd inning and the 8th inning. So there was an opportunity for the Dodgers to jump up there to offer some resistance, but they've not been able to get anything going. Again, just the 3 hits on the night and 2 of those from LeCastro.
5 of the 9 runs have scored with 2 outs. Dominic Leone has been on the DL with upper arm nerve irritation in his right arm for most of the season. His 5th appearance of his rehab assignment. In 4 innings, he's given up 2 runs and 4 hits with 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Pitched a couple nights ago. Ended up as the winning pitcher. Dodgers had him on the ropes, but a base running blunder ran them out of the 8th inning. And predictably, Memphis scored in the 9th and won. Gale's 0 for 2 tonight.
You're talking about guys in the bottom of the order just getting to the plate for the 3rd time on the evening.
Cecil went a scoreless inning, no hits, a walk, and a strikeout.
Jake Peter is in the on-deck circle for Oklahoma City.
3-2 now to Gale. Fouled off. Jake Peter on deck, getting ready to hit in the pitcher spot. There's the 3-2. And hit out of play by Gale.
Good portion of the crowd has stuck around for this evening. Some have ended their night early, but any night's a good night when you can say you spent it at the ballpark.
Hale certainly not giving it away in at bat. Down 9 in the 8th inning. Next 3-2. Fouled off again. Next pitch will be the 10th of the at bat.
Gale battling. Trying to get something started here in the bottom of the 8th.
One final in the PCL. New Orleans beat Iowa 9-2. Jeff Brigham continues to pitch well for the Baby Cakes. It's 4-0 with a 2.62 ERA. Dwayne Underwood Jr. took the loss. Pitch is grounded foul. Chris Coughlin a home run for Iowa. For New Orleans, Peter Mooney is 5th. Austin Dean went deep twice. His 8th and 9th.
See what Leone comes with here on 3-2.
They walked him. Good at bat by game. Big Peter pinch hitting in the pitcher spot.
Jake Peters pinch hitting for Oklahoma City.
Well, Peter last night, couple of solid base hits. Got on base 3 times. Grounds 1 foul. Been hitting the ball routinely hard the last few games.
Pitched 1 inning.
Well, as I tend to say in these games like this,
4 runs, all earned on 5 hits.
completed and comeback probably unrealistic.
No strikeouts.
But just trying to get something positive heading to tomorrow can do a lot of good. Nashville continues to lead in Colorado Springs. It's 3-2 in the 8th inning. Can the Dodgers get help yet again as Nashville looks for a 12th straight win? Breaking ball from Leone is down. And a long rain delay to begin their game in Round Rock tonight. Omaha leads 2-0 in the 4th. Omaha's pitched 3 straight shutouts entering tonight. And they've started off tonight with 3 scoreless innings as well.
That's impressive.
Guess who the Dodgers get to play next?
Naturally. Well, maybe they'll have it out of their system by then.
Tonight's attendance, 9,899. 9,899.
2-2 to Peter, pinch hitting. Pops it up. Mejia down the line in foul territory there for the first out.
Everybody keeps their scorebook, has its own idiosyncrasies to it, and I tend to put, instead of, if it's a fly ball to a left fielder, I'll either put a P for a pop-up or a L for a line drive, kind of distinguish between what type the ball was hit, and I'm sure you do something similar to that, but I see a whole lot of, P's in there, just pop-ups, not too many line drives that have been hit, aside from the fact that they only have the 3 hits in the ball game on the evening. A lot of those P5s and fly balls are ones that are hit well, but the pop-ups, strikeouts, those things not working in the Dodgers' favor tonight.
Castro taps one over the head of Leone. Sosa picks it, throws to first. It's not going to be in time. And was just going to piggyback and say, well, Tim LeCastro is one of the few that has hit the ball well tonight. That one was more well placed than well hit with his speed. He now has 3 of the team's 4 hits.
Just 6 inches lower, and the pitcher is able to get that. If it's hit a little harder, shortstop probably has enough time to make that play. That was just positioned perfectly.
Yeah, even if the first baseman Mejia kept his foot on the bag, you could see LeCastro is going to be safe.
Number 15, Landon Beck, is warming for Memphis. Beck.
Donovan Solano takes on. Dodgers trying to get in the run column. Down 9-0 in the 8th. Solano's 0 for 3. Been a hot hitter, but cooled off by the Redbirds in the series. Pitch is hit out of play. Lined out to right in the first, grounded out in the 3rd, reaching the fielder's choice in the 6th. Next pitch grounded softly to the left side. Sosa charges, throws to first, a little bit offline, but Mejia can put the tag on Solano.
Moves the runners over, and we'll give Kyle Former an opportunity here. Runners at 2nd and 3rd, and 2 away. You don't want to get shut out, so you got to get some of these guys home, right? Former just the man for the job.
So for 3 tonight, like a lot of these Dodgers hitters came into tonight hitting fairly well, but have not done much this evening. Swings through a breaking ball for strike 1. Landon Beck's been warming up. Now those guys on rehab assignment. You've got a pitch limit in Leone's now with 23. I would find it hard to believe if he went more than 25 pitches tonight. Leone was acquired in a trade in the offseason with Toronto. Chopper left side. Urias throws to first. Dodgers still no runs. They did get 2 men on base, but leave them both in scoring position. We go to the 9th. Memphis leading it 9-0. This is Dodgers baseball on Your View on Cox. In Family 4-pack returns August the 24th when the Dodgers face the Colorado Springs Sky Sox. You'll receive 4 tickets of the game, 4 Brahms combo vouchers, and 4 OKC Dodgers hats, only $39.99. Call 405-218-2100 for more information. And again, I know it might be hard to realize it at the moment, but that is going to be such a huge series against Colorado Springs as it is shaping up right now. You guys got to get out here. We love having our viewers here on Your View on Cox. But I would like to think it is still going to be a very tight division race at that time. And it's the final home series of the year for the Dodgers. You got to get out and support your team. Brian Schlitter in the game. Usually used in the back end of the bullpen in games in which the Dodgers are leading. It's not the case tonight. 8 men came to the plate in the 8th when Memphis scored 4 runs on 5 hits, all of which charged Edward Paredes. Carson Kelly's 0 for 4 tonight. 9 runs, 12 hits, no errors for the Redbirds. No runs, 4 hits, and 1 error for the Dodgers. Schlitter strikes out Kelly on a fastball down in the zone. Just the 4th strikeout by the Dodgers pitching staff tonight.
Well, he is the definition of a downhill pitcher, is he not?
Yeah. Yes, he is. That sinker is certainly special.
Straight over the top, plenty of velocity.
Well, you ask the Dodgers catchers, and they say, without a doubt, that's probably the single nastiest pitch by any pitcher the Dodgers have. Tyler O'Neill's 1 for 4 tonight. Broken bat flare, shallow center. LeCastro can't get it. Schlitter saws him off, but it's a base hit, the 13th of 9. Out in Las Vegas, Reno's Ildemaro Vargas has extended his hitting streak to 35 consecutive games. Again, it's 4th longest ever in the PCL and the 2nd longest in the league's modern era, which was awfully close to being snapped against the Dodgers on Tuesday night. Justin Williams this evening has got 2 hits. He's walked. He's been on base 3 times and scored 3 times. This thing a bit outside.
You know, sometimes you put guys like Schlitter in a situation like that where he needs some work, maybe he hasn't pitched in a couple of days.
Yeah.
And it's a good situation, but sometimes they discover, you know, bad habits perhaps in situations like that. Not suggesting that's going to happen here naturally, but you don't ever like to see guys come into this situation and have a particularly poor outing either.
Some people might think you're crazy as the pitch is a little bit outside, but for a guy like a Schlitter, someone else who's always used to pitching at the end of games when the team is leading, mentally it's tough to pitch in a game like this. I mean, not to make this about me, but from what we do, and I think what a lot of people do in this game, when it is a 1-run game late, your concentration is just locked in on a different level.
Yeah, you feel like you're part of the game and you're riding the wave of emotion whichever way it's going. And for Schlitter, a guy who's used to being in there when it is on the line type situation, for him to go out in a situation such as this is probably something that he doesn't do too often throughout a regular season. So all that being said, you want to make sure that you get your outs and get out of this inning as quickly as possible with 2 runners aboard. 1 out, double play in order here for the Dodgers.
El Mejia had an RBI double his last time up. Seven of the last 11 Redbirds have reached base. You hear stories about kind of the old school managers, the Earl Weavers, the Jim Lelands. Kind of more recently, even though he never managed in the big leagues, Wally Backman, who was around in this league for a while with Las Vegas, who, after a game like this, would known as flipping the spread. Just turning over the table with the food. Well, that's not physically possible the way it's set up in the Dodgers clubhouse. But all I'm saying is, I know that's something Bill Houseman would not normally do, but at this point, I mean, something has to be done. And I don't know whether it comes from a player, whether it comes from a coach. To say this has been a bad week would be a big understatement. And this has kind of been the nadir of that. But hey, I don't know. I've never managed a game in my life. I'd be the last person to tell you if that's really the right thing to do or not.
Well, I think the game has changed, as you mentioned. Some of those guys are, out of the game for, not Beckman, but other guys been out of the game for a good 20, 30 years or so. And that's the way they did it, the old school way. Now you'd have to worry about flipping the table and injuring somebody and getting a lawsuit or something. But a wake-up call is needed.
Grounded towards the middle. LeCastro can't get to it. It's off the edge of his glove. 2 runs will end up scoring. It looked like it could potentially be a double play off the bat. Instead, no outs are made. Urias' 4th hit tonight. 2 more runs score. This is turning into a rout.
Back up the middle. Diving attempt. Looked like he had a shot to get a hold of it, but just missed it. Gets off the glove, and that allows the second runner to come around and score and make it 11-0. Edman stands in now with still just the 1 out and a runners at first and second.
Dodgers' largest margin of defeat this year happened 8 days ago in Tacoma, a 13-1 defeat. They're down 11-0 tonight. The team has been shut out 5 times this season. An 8-0 loss in Omaha. That was the largest shutout loss of the first 5. Edman tonight, 1 for 3 with a sac fly.
On the good news side, the parent club Dodgers are winning 2-0 in the 9th inning. Or does that make it more painful?
No, at least someone in the Dodgers uniform is winning. Of course, a lot of those guys playing tonight, coming through Oklahoma City earlier in their careers.
Buehler 7 innings, no runs, 6 strikeouts.
At Coors Field.
Yeah, that's well taken.
You don't see that too often. Line drive in a left field. And now it is bobbled by Rios.
Wow.
13-0.
Single, E7.
I put my head down to enter it in the scorebook when you said it got away from him. Let's take a look here. Comes in and just doesn't really get in front of the ball, or he's looking to see what the runner is doing, and then it rolls very slowly all the way to the wall. He retreats to go get it. And as Alex said, now 13-0. Redbirds on top.
It's like the Dodgers are going to make some changes. I believe they're going to have a position player pitch.
It's the new rage in baseball now, right?
It's the first time it's happened this year, and that's a sign that things have gone really bad. Angelo Moore is going to pitch.
Angelo Moro
It's now 13-0.
Wonder if they have a meeting on this ahead of time. Hey, if we ever get in this situation, here's the guys we're going to choose from.
Normally you've got a guy in mind or so. Yeah, normally you have that one or two guys that you know you'll go to if you absolutely need to. It's been the largest cheer of the night once Angelo Moro was just announced as the pitcher.
He says, okay, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. Going to work out of the stretch. And most times you don't see these guys go into any big, long windup. They just kind of work from the stretch and fling it home and let it happen.
It's flied into right by Sosa. And Edman not going to try and tag and score here. It's a good throw by Garlick anyway. The Dodgers' largest shutout loss, or Oklahoma City's largest shutout loss in team history, was 12-0. That was on July the 22nd, 2003 versus Nashville. So if this team does not score, well, we don't even know if it might need more than one run.
And Leon probably doesn't bat very often.
It's not Leon. It's going to be another starting pitcher, Kevin Herget, actually.
Herget pitch hitting for Memphis.
I think the only other guy left on the bench is the other catcher, Stephen Barron. Yeah, he's it. Oh no, Rangel Ravelo's available, but I guess not necessarily needing to use him here. Herget grounds with left side. Solano in the hole, backhands the throw to first, not in time. Yeah, why not at this point?
Well, he's making things happen. First pitch got an out. 2 pitches later, he's got a ground ball, an opportunity for an out, but that ball just was placed perfectly. There's the replay, and you can see the runner just beating it and getting the infield single.
Chopper to third. And that mercifully ends the inning. 5 runs coming on 4 hits. A man left. Dodgers are close to being on the wrong side of history. Let's see if they can avoid it after the break. This is Dodgers baseball and your view on Cox. Now we've got a Pizza Hut all-you-can-eat night coming up here on August the 18th. The Dodgers host the Iowa Cubs. All-you-can-eat seats available now for just $19 and include all-you-can-eat food, Dodgers hat, and a game ticket. 405-218-2100 for more information.
And after the Dodgers played 15 runs in this inning, you can say you were there that night when it all happened. Got to start somewhere.
Connor Green's the new pitcher for Memphis. Again, if the largest shutout loss in the team's history since it became a member of the PCL was against Nashville in 2003, 12-0. The team has only lost 4 games in its PCL history by 14 or more runs. The last of which was against these Memphis Redbirds. That was back in 2012 in a game in Memphis. A 24-17 loss, or 24-7 loss. Grounded into right for base hit.
Here we go. Got to start somewhere. And all kidding aside, if they can just put together, get 6-7 guys come to the plate, get 3-4 runs here in this inning, nobody's expecting them to come back from a 14-run deficit. But again, just something positive to end the game on, to carry into tomorrow's contest.
Well, this isn't going to help.
Tried so hard, too. 6-4-3, roll them up like that. Down to the final opportunity for the Dodgers. The perfect storm of what could go wrong for the Dodgers did, and what could go right for the Redbirds, seemingly so.
There is one thing that has gone right. Colorado Springs lost. Nashville wins a 12th straight. They win 3-2 in Colorado Springs. As bad as this is, the Dodgers will still lead the division by a game and a half and lose no ground.
Scoring doesn't matter. An L's an L.
Thank you, Nashville Sounds. Tell you what, though, is, by the way, Omaha's scoreless streak finally ended. They win tonight. They're 7 games out. And the last 3 weeks of the season is all divisional play. They're not out of it, with the way the Dodgers and Sky Sox have been struggling. Kyle Garlick gets on base for the 3rd time tonight.
Pitching line for Schlitter. Pitched 1/3 of an inning.
Henry Ramos looking to prolong this game. He's 0 for 3 tonight.
3 earned. 3 earned. 2 walks, 1 strikeout, 25
Redbirds
pitches,
trying to
13 strikes.
pitch what would be their 10th shutout of the season.
Pitching line for Leon, 1 inning pitched, no runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, 24 pitches, 16 strikes.
Dodgers hitters 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 have 1 hit on the night. Of course, 3 of the 5 belong to LeCastro, he of the leadoff spot. A couple walks mixed in there, but really their best chance to score was in the first with that double by LeCastro to lead off the game, and never even moved him over. Joe walked to start the 2nd inning. He got as far as 3rd base, and that's been the limit right now.
Ball's going to get by Kelly on ball 4. Back-to-back walks by Green after there were none on and 2 out.
Rocky Gale stands in next. See there, he walked his last time up. Try to keep the inning going. Dodgers down to their final out. 2 runners aboard. Like to break that shutout if nothing else.
If the Dodgers do, the remaining fans here will erupt.
Yeah, what can you say about folks that stick around for a 16-0 or 14-0 ball game?
Remember when you said earlier that there was good news the Dodgers were winning?
Yeah.
Rockies just hit a walk-off 3-run homer in the ninth to win 3-2.
Oh my goodness.
Ryan McMahon did it. Came off JT Chagouin.
Boy, and you know that's going to send a panic through the organization with Jansen being out and blowing the first save opportunity the very first night.
Oh, fans on Twitter are going to, I'm sure they're going to be rational. Line drive to center. Why was Kyle Garlick stopped? Huh?
I mean, there's 2 outs. Should have been running with the pitch, with the hit. I would have thought he would have scored. I guess somebody had more in the Grand Slam pool tonight.
Unless they lost track of the outs. It's not like Lane Thomas is going to uncork the biggest throw of his life to the plate in that situation.
Or that it matters.
There have been a lot of things that have not gone right tonight. There could be an obvious answer I'm missing.
I'm with you.
But I am beyond bewildered right now. And again, look, just to have something positive happen. Jobs to talk. I'm at a loss for words.
I assumed it was just going to be
right.
A run. Here he comes rounding third. He'll come in to score. Throw goes into second base. But he did not even have a head of steam going into third.
And they're going to get shut out. The worst shutout loss in Oklahoma City's PCL history. A 14-0 blowout for the Memphis Redbirds. Dodgers have lost 5 straight, 7 of 8. And this is bottoming out. We'll be back after this with the final totals. This is Dodgers baseball and your view on Cox.